I am back with another reaction. This time I'm going to watch a Touge run from a Honda Integra Type R JDM posted by Night Ride. So let's just see what this is about. Oh man, what a gorgeous road that is. Okay, so first pet peeve. It's how I used to shift as well. So not saying you can't do it, but see how he puts his hand on the shifter. I used to shift like that too. I'm in America, so I'm left-hand drive, right-hand shift. The problem is when your hand is vertical like that, it's always going to have a tendency to pull towards you. You're gonna run into issues where if the car is bouncing around under you, if you're on like a rough surface or something like that, and you go to shift like that, a lot of times you're gonna miss shift. A lot of times it's going from second into third, you put it in first. That's not good. Or you're going typically it's gonna be like an upshift. Downshifts are fine because downshifts you're pulling towards you anyways. And that so on this in this case upshifts for him are probably fine. But downshifts he might miss a downshift and do an upshift instead. So having your hand above the shifter like this when you shift, so you top palm it, that's going to allow the shifter to naturally move. It's a lot easier to guide the shifter into its position when you're above it like this, and you go toot, 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 and you go in the direction that's going, but you're not putting a wall in one direction. You're letting the shifter move under you, and then you're guiding it in. First time I ever did any type of rally driving at Dirtfish, I was going from second to first. Like, luckily on the dirt, it's not the biggest issue because your tires, everything kind of locks up, and you're not gonna obviously you're gonna ping the motor a little bit, but you know, it just made me not use third at first. So I would downshift in the second, and on those times where it was to upshift to third, and I kept missing third and going to first, did that a couple times. I look, I'm gonna leave it in second. I'm just gonna hold out the revs and get more comfortable with the driving aspect. And then my instructor was like, hey, look, if you put your hand above the shifter and you shift, it's just gonna go into the spot. You won't have any issues. I did that and never had a misshift ever since. I've never misshifted, knock on wood, since I started doing like a top palm. I'll still grab and pull towards me on downshifts, but I'm usually top palming unless it's like just a real quick pull towards me downshift. Usually third to second is probably the only time I do that. Everything else is going to be top. All right, so just a critique. It's a good way to miss shift. But some people it works for them. If you never miss shifted before and you shift like that, I'm not gonna stop you. You see how so I'm gonna have to. I'm not quite done with that. See how awkward that shift was? Watch where he goes to the downshift. The bent wrist and the pulling, like it's so much more relaxed to be above it. And then when you're above it, you can also tilt your hand in the direction you're shifting to give it that guide in. All right. Rant over. Let's go. Is he not? Oh, that's a brake pedal. What is he doing right here? Okay, that's the gas pedal. I'm like, is that the brake pedal? Is he not on the? But no, it's the gas pedal. Can you guess what I'm gonna critique here? Why? Why? You can do that, right? You can do a hand over hand, or you can do that, and you never, if you do this, right? I got my hands on the wheel. If I pull down, shuffle to the bottom, and pull up again, I am never taking my hands off the wheel, and I can get a full rotation without, right? Or if I'm a hand over hand guy, same thing. But why would you keep your hands on the wheel in that? How are you going to recover if something happens when you're and having your thumb hooked into the wheel like that? So, yeah, it's just a really, I don't know. I don't know why you would think that hand position was good. I don't know. I would basically, if I was like an instructor and somebody was doing this, so one of the things that I know I do is I do keep my hands on the wheel a little bit longer than I should, and I cross my hands up. But at this point right here, I've got my fingertips. I'm pinching the wheel right here, and I'm getting ready to come over, right? So I'm going, pinching the wheel, holding it. If I could do two things here. I can pinch the wheel, and then I can bring this hand back over, right? And come here, which is probably the better thing to do, rather than keeping this hand here and then crossing over, right? Because there's so much you can lose the wheel like that. Um, so pinch the wheel, go about 180, and at 180, you should. That's when this hand should be here, and then you should be holding the wheel and going more if you need it. Or even better, you can do that at 90, right? So you can go 90 degrees, bring this hand down, pull it up, shift, go another 90, bring that hand up. So you can shuffle 90s or you can shuffle 180s fairly easy. Some people will shuffle like 45s. That's more for like road course when you don't need a lot of you don't need a lot of steering movement because you're not like doing big counter movements. You're just doing 45, and then maybe you may need a little bit more. You'll see that. But typically, slightly bigger shuffles are going to be a better use of steering. But to like do that, you're asking for the car to, if something were to happen, to break that thumb, right? Off-road racers don't even like having their thumbs hooked into the wheels. They drive with their thumbs out. I recently, as of a couple of years ago, uh, did get in an accident, did fracture my thumb because it was hooked into the wheel. I stopped driving like that. I have now I pinch the thumbs onto the little bulbs and I keep my hands like this, but my thumbs are not hooked into the wheel. And I even have a lot of extra like wear and tear on my gloves because that's how I drive now. So, but all right, let's see how else. all ended well, no accidents. So see that's a little bit better, right? So this is the most I would cross my arms. Again, that's that like 180 position where you should be about to let go of one hand or shuffle, right? So at this point, I can hold on to the wheel very securely by pinching. So here, quick. Right, so I can, you still can't see it because my hand's all black. Here, let me take my gloves off really quick. So my hands are on the wheel. So I can hold on to the wheel pretty securely with a pinch right here, right? And then bring this hand over and secure it and get more, right? Or at this point, I could cross over. I'm more of a crossover type person, which I have been in the past, but my problem with crossing over is I have a little bit more of a tendency to lose track of the wheel when I'm crossing over. So I've learned to keep my hands on the wheel more often. So, and then this yellow little strip helps immensely. When I started realizing I was losing track of the wheel, put that little yellow strip there, and now if I'm ever in like a situation where I've done a bunch, I just glance down, look at where that is, and recenter. So, right. But yeah, so that's about as much steering input I would want to see before I start doing some hand shuffling. With a front wheel drive car, if he was left foot braking, he actually wouldn't need to do even that much input. He can get more steering input with left foot braking and rotation of the car. The way he's driving it, it makes me think that this is not a closed course in Mexico. But I couldn't read what it said in the very beginning. Maybe it's a closed course in Mexico. Oh. There we go. Did I miss anything? Hold on, let me go back. It's a good sounding car. Really good sounding car. Looks like it's running a little rich. Oh. Running a little low on oil maybe. Is that blue smoke and not white smoke? Oh, wait. That was a weird shift. Yeah, so that was the DC2 Type R Integra on some road. But yeah, so again, what was I gonna say? Yeah, like, you know, it's tempting to want to cross your arms like this because it's like, oh, that's as much steering as I'm gonna need. And you might be right, that you might be fine right there. But what happens when you're like, this weird hand position like he was in? It's like, one, you don't have that much control right now, right? Like, how much control do you have to really? You can't go anymore this way. You're already crossed up. So you can only wheel it back. If the car starts at this point, if the car starts to understeer, do something, oversteer, you're kind of screwed, right? Maybe oversteer, you can get back to here. Um, but yeah, but you just given up so much control of the wheel by doing this. Um, just keep, you know, just keep it like this, right? You can shuffle. You can shuffle. You can hand it off. Just hand it off. Or you can cross it over, right? Like a lot of people are really comfortable crossing over like that, but even then, like how you're giving up a lot of control with the wheel by crossing when you cross over versus a shuffle, you really if you're moving it and you find that right spot, you can have that right spot and then you can micromanage that right spot. But if you're crossing over at this point, if this is the right spot, well, suddenly you have to do this like that to get and micromanage it, right? So, and then the shifting thing. So, but awesome road, awesome car, except for it looked like it needed some oil. Maybe engine was a little sloppy. Um, yeah. If you like my content, like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. Let me know if there's any videos that you want to see me watch and react to. Yeah. Other than that, peace out.